literally was like driving the struggle bus today. Let me just tell you. So one, a lot of times, as you know, I do work on this at my place of employment. But yesterday was so busy. I literally was like, dun, 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 dun. The whole day yesterday was crazy. All day today was crazy. I just literally didn't have time to think about this. So today I worked on it for a little bit, and I was just like, it was just terrible. Like I was doing a terrible job, and it was just like not a vibe and not going well, and like it was confusing, whatever. And so I was like, fuck it, I need to start over. So I just made this Nearpod. So I'm late because I was getting this ready for you all because work was crazy and I didn't have time to make it this week. Also, I was supposed to go to therapy today, but I canceled it. I think I'm gonna stop going. I don't know. I feel like really good, and I've never been this happy before. So I just feel like it's like something in my schedule that's not serving me. You know what I mean? I feel bad that I'm late. Let me tell everyone that I'm on here. I'm so late. Hi, Average Tay. Welcome. Bestie, I'm lifted and was distracted on TikTok at 7:45, and I was like, shit, and so thankful I still beat you. Icon behavior. Icon behavior. Icon behavior. I wish Instagram would, like, save links. You know what I mean? Hi, first time chat. Howdy, Doodle Bop. Hi, Bestie. What is up? How we feeling? How we living? How are we doing? How is everyone? How's everyone's week? Or I guess it's only, today's Wednesday. So how's everyone's week so far? Mine's good. I'm trying to get this stupid link. Why do I not know how to use my phone? Sorry to see you go. I've been trying to like take back my email and unsubscribe from things, and it's like not going that well. Like it's very difficult. No one's listening to me when I unsubscribe. Living life, currently working. I left work early because they pissed me off before 9 a.m. I started at 8. That's a fucking mood. My job was actually like pretty good today. It was like kind of stressful, but we're living, we're surviving. Hi, Elena510, we missed you. Didn't get a notification. I was nervous. Happy hump day, besties. Mr. President. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, I'm posting it on Instagram right now. Hi. Oh my God. It always does that thing where it like takes everyone a second to get here. Don't forget, we need to take our class photo today. We need to pick a good meme for it too. Hi. Chat isn't scrolling. The fucking chat. It always gets me with the fucking chat. Sorry. I'm trying to have a better attitude and not let the little things get to me in life. Oh my God, that's not what I wanted to do. No. We're good? Okay, sorry. I thought I just like literally broke everything. And I got really scared for a second. Sorry. I almost just had a heart attack. But we're fine. Everything's fine. Here, let me turn my volume off. Okay. Hi. Sorry, I thought I just ended the stream and like literally deleted everyone and everything, and I like literally started having heart palpitations. But it's fine. I'm gonna post on Instagram that I'm here since I was so late today. So sorry about that. Yeah. Now is chat scrolling? Sydney Moorjohn, thanks for being a subscriber for 2 months. And you're on time to class today. Quarter life crisis is late. I'm crying. Quarter life crisis. Should I message her on Twitter and be like, where are you? Oh my God, the chat still isn't working again. Also, here's the Nearpod if anyone wants the Nearpod. Oh. Why did my phone and computer copy and paste at the same thing? I don't like that. There's the Nearpod though. Hi. The chat's kind of being weird. I don't know. I feel like my account's being weird right now. I don't know what's going on. Someone try and send something in the chat. Is it working? Did I accidentally turn on that subscriber only chat? I'm so glad you were late because that meant I wasn't late. Yeah, the chat's like being odd again. Ugh. I'm not cut out for this. I'm really just not cut out in any way, shape, or form. I only see me, no one else. Yeah, it was like paused on the screen, but some of them were going through. I think I fixed it though. I realized I wasn't, okay. I think I fixed it. I think it's working now. Yeah, now it looks normal. Sorry, that was just really anxiety inducing. I need to like chill out for a second. Can anyone tell? Okay. I'm going to teach you about Watergate, I promise, but I've just had a stressful day. I'm just stressed. My boyfriend got himself a new keyboard and I hate it. I hate when boyfriends get themselves new keyboards. It's disgusting. So let me just tell you. Work yesterday was crazy. Work today was crazy. And then I like got home, ate a little bit. Oh, I meant to eat my spinach and artichoke dip and I forgot to. Got home, ate a little bit, finished the Nearpod for y'all, and then was late. Like, I, like, didn't finish in time, and I was late, and then I sat down here at, like, 7:35, opened my computer, and, like, the case, like, slid off my computer and, like, popped my nail off with it, because these are press-ons, and so my nail, like, exploded off my hand, and I was like, okay. And so I was like, I can't go on Twitch with 9 nails. That's like defamation of character, obviously. So, and can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can't hear me and I can like move closer, but I'm comfortable right now. I was like, I can't go on Twitch with 9 nails. That's defamation of character. So I had to fix my nail before I got here. So I'm trying to just like relax and breathe deeply and live in the moment. You know what I mean? My workday was so hectic, phone rang every moment. It was like, yeah, that's what it was. Like my phone was ringing off the hook today. I got tons of emails. Like, everyone that needed stuff from me was nice and polite and valid in what they needed. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't bad. Like, no one was being a dick and, like, everything was fine. But it was just, like, a lot of people at one time and a lot of meetings at one time. And I was like, can we just, like, relax for a second right now? But when I've been dealing with this problem for literally, like, a week and a half. Like, I've literally been, what color highlighter should I use, besties? Pink. I've had this problem at work. I've been dealing with it for like a week and a half. These Smirnoff Ice pink lemonades are not good. I've been trying to figure it out for like a week and a half. Everyone's giving me the runaround. I don't know like what is up and what is down, and it's just like not a vibe, and everything is going very poorly with this problem. I can't really get into it. It's not that bad. It's basically like some people hiring assistants. It's fine. But it's just like been a thing for so long, and then today I think we figured it out. I think it's like resolved. You know what I mean? My coworker was like, can you do a phone favor for me? And then I spent every minute on the phone after that. God. There's a lunar eclipse on Friday the 13th. It's Friday the 13th this week? Oh my God. Should I get one of the Friday the 13th tattoos? Mercury is in retrograde as of yesterday. Okay, that kind of makes me feel better because I thought it was just me. I feel a lot better now. I was like stressed for real. Oh, I've only been here for 8 minutes. I don't know why it feels like I've been here for longer. Oh, I think I might have did accidentally end the stream before. I think maybe that did happen. Maybe it cut out. No, I was that late. Yeah, that's right. I have been here for 8 minutes. In good news, my coworker had a really cute baby yesterday. Aw, congrats to your coworker. Tell her we said thank you. My kids take their EOC on Friday the 13th. Love it. I would be crying and throwing up. Literally. I was so superstitious about that. When my kids had to take a mid-year assessment, I made my administrators put it on February 2nd. So it could be February 2nd, 2022, so it could be angel numbers. And they were like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, I am serious. That's the test date I want. Can you make it happen, yes or no? And they did in their defense. But it was also like kind of convenient for them. I might have to proctor. I hate proctoring. It's just like high-key, very boring. Proctoring is just like the most boring of vibes ever. Here, I'm going to put the Nearpod again, and let's go ahead and talk about Watergate. Fair warning, this one is not as interactive. It doesn't have as many poll questions and collaborate boards and stuff like that, but I did make sure I put the game in there. I was going to skip making the game so that I could be on time, but I was like, no, people like the game, so I need to make the game. You know what I mean? Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. I'm shocked they let you pick the date. Well, it was more like, it wasn't a standardized test. It was like a district test that like I got to administer. But they were just like, basically what they were doing is their logic is like, if we act like it's a standardized test, the kids will like try harder on it. So they like instead of taking it in class, we took it in testing room. So they just had to like coordinate that. But it was like not official, if that makes sense. Like I was the one that released it on the little website and shit like that. And like I graded it and I got the results right away. Like it was not a serious standardized test, but they just wanted to give standardized test energy. Okay. So drop a Nixon hate message. Thank you to those of you that have done that if you would like to. Here's the Nearpod again. I did not try and standardize test, fuck the numbers. No, literally that's what I said. I was like, no one cares about the standardized test. You guys, if anything, they just go to sleep. If it's a standardized test, like no one really cares. Okay, so today, what are we talking about? I'm a little bit drinking and we're talking about Watergate. I picked Watergate. I know it's not like the most exciting thing in the entire world, but I think it's an important part of history. And like, I never really learned about this in school. Like we learned about it, but we didn't learn the details about what happened. They taught it to us in literally like 2 seconds. Like it was one slide of a PowerPoint. And I didn't really know much about it before I made this, to be honest. Like most of what I learned in this. Like I knew the basics of it, but I didn't really know like the details. So I wanted to teach it just because like, we don't really learn about it, and it's just fucking weird and crazy. So welcome. Glad you're here to learn. So did you learn about Watergate in school? You can answer in the chat. You can answer on Nearpod, whatevs. But did you learn about this in school? I gave you a couple answer choices. Yes, maybe, but I don't remember. We never talked about it in 2 seconds, but I don't know any of the details. I just know it was sketch. Did you learn about it in school? I'm definitely like D. Like we learned about it for like 2 seconds, but I don't know what happened really. Well, now I do because I just made this Nearpod and read like every history and Wikipedia article about this. We watched the movies about the reporters that like figured this shit out. I want to watch that. That's one thing. We're going to talk about that obviously, but I didn't get like super into their processes. Sorry. I didn't super get into their processes, and I want to. You say crazy like the Kardashians do. That's so embarrassing for me. I don't remember anything I learned in school. I was a chronic absentee. I found my U.S. history notebook from then, and it was a hot mess. My amazing U.S. 2 teacher made sure we knew about how much Nixon sucked. Shout out Mr. Shore. Man, these press-ons feel so good scratching. Didn't learn anything about it until college level U.S. history. Okay, period. Okay, so here are my sources. I used mostly this right here. Most of what we're looking at is from here, and a lot of it is from Wikipedia too. This is never apologize for asking me to drop the Nearpod. Rach Coach, never apologize for that. I'm always happy to drop the Nearpod. This one's very meme heavy. I've been trying to go more meme heavy because I'm gathering that like that's a vibe and we're into that moment. But yeah, very meme heavy here. Sorry, I'm trying to like make this as large as possible. She could like make that go away because I can't make it full screen, if you know what I mean. There we go. I think that's as good as it's going to get. Memes make it easy to remember. Okay, so an overview. The Watergate scandal was because there was a break-in to the Democratic National Committee headquarters that was inside the Watergate building. So this is the Watergate building, and the Watergate building is basically just like a building. Like it's apartments, a hotel, and like offices. So this is where the Democratic National Committee had their office headquarters. And there was a break-in there, and then an investigation revealed that there was abuses of power in the Nixon administration, and they basically planned this break-in. So that's an overview of what happened. We're going to get into the details. This is like a super complicated thing and like had multiple hearings and investigations like all up in the Senate and the Supreme Court and shit like that. And so like I'm not a legal expert and I'm not going to get into every detail of every piece of evidence and every investigation. But we're going to go over like pretty much the main big details of what happened. So not every little nitty gritty person and document and nuance, but it's pretty comprehensive. You used one of my memes in class today. How did it go? Which one was it? Which meme? I saw a TikTok from someone who has the original filing cabinet they broke into. That's fucking awesome. I want that filing cabinet. Oh, it was a letdown? Damn. I still want to know about this meme. This drink is not good. It's not good. I'm not having a good time. I look good. I like my hair right now. Like I'm very much into this right now. There's a podcast called Conspiracy Theories, and it gives a pretty good insight on the dramas behind Watergate. It was all banged up and looked like any other filing cabinet. It was good. It was the GI Bill train crash one. Oh, I know that one. Okay, so for context, this happened in 1972. This is when President Richard Nixon was running for re-election, and everyone in our country was like, it was just bad vibes. Like, we were in the middle of the Vietnam War. That was my first history stream, was about the Vietnam War. So we were in the middle of the Vietnam War, and it was like really bad vibes, and everyone was like disagreeing over a lot. Richard Nixon, if you don't know, he was the 37th president of the United States. He was born in 1913. That sounds fake. He was a Republican. He was 5 years in the White House during the Vietnam War, the Cold War shit. He was the president when we first had the manned moon landings. You can see there's like a lot of big shit happened when he was in office, and then he resigned because of Watergate. He also is the one that declared the war on drugs, and I am personally one of his haters. So before I am anything, I am a Nixon hater, but this is who he is, if you didn't already know. And then here's the pic of him. If you don't know, that's obviously not him. That's what he looks like right there, if you did not know. Okay. So when I see him in hell, it's on site. So fair disclosure, I made this Nearpod like an hour ago because I had made one, but it was like just super confusing. Like, it was overly detailed, but also not detailed enough. You know what I mean? Like, it had too many little details, but not enough of like major details. And I was confused about the major details. And it was like, I just felt like I didn't know what I was talking about. And the more that I read, the more confused I was. And I was getting frustrated trying to fix it. So at like 6:30, I was like, fuck it. And then I just like panic deleted it. And then I found that history.com timeline, and I was like, okay, this one makes a lot more sense, because the one I was reading before had too much legal language in it, and I was just like confusing myself. So I made a brand new Nearpod. So if there's any like typos or anything like that, sorry, I didn't really have time to proofread it because I just made it, but I did kind of proofread it. So I just wanted to let you know, like, kind of behind the curtain, the magic of what has transpired to create this extremely low budget series. So starting in January 1969, this is when Nixon gets inaugurated. So this is like when he becomes the president. So this is like before Watergate, like a while, but he's the president. Then in 1971, still his first term, it's only been 2 years, he orders the installation of a secret taping system to record all conversations in the Oval Office. It's like generally kind of weird to have secret taping systems. And it's also in his executive building office and his Camp David office and on selected phones in these locations. So to start off, like, it's already weird. He's already doing this taping things. And then in 1971, I know this seems irrelevant, but I promise it is, the New York Times began publishing the Pentagon Papers and the Defense Department's secret history of the Vietnam War. And then the Washington Post began publishing the papers later in the week. So the reason that is important is because previous like government officials had been lying about the Vietnam War and being like, hey, we're not trying that hard in the Vietnam War, we're going to give up soon, but then actually putting a ton more money into it. So the Pentagon Papers getting released is the U.S. public being like, damn, my government is like low-key not shit. So then Nixon and his staff recruit a team of ex-FBI and CIA ops, later referred to as the Plumbers, to investigate the leaked publication of the Pentagon Papers. And on September 9th, the Plumbers break into the office of Daniel Ellsberg, psychiatrist. Who's Daniel Ellsberg? He works for the government, I think. Who is this? Let me Google it. As you can see, I didn't make this long ago. Daniel Ellsberg. Oh, he was an an economist and a political activist. Got it. So he was, yeah, that makes sense. Political enemy. Okay, let me catch up in the chat. I saw a TikTok where the original post said, if you went back in time and were able to change history, what would you do? And someone said, I'd give John Hinckley a junior shooting lessons. My main takeaways my teacher wanted us to have about Nixon is that he was paranoid. 37 is a bad number. Yeah, 37 is. I hate him only second to Reagan. Yeah, Reagan sucks. Reagan fucking sucks. Okay. So the defense analyst who leaked the Pentagon Papers to the press. I like how I Googled it and the answer was right there. I'm truly incredible. So already, even before Watergate, like things are sus. Like things are very weird and things are very sus even before Watergate. And then one of the plumbers, G. Jordan Liddy, is transferred to the Committee to Re-elect the President, which is also known as CREEP. So this is where he obtains, this is what gets me, approval from the Attorney General for espionage against the Democratic Party. So I wanted to give you some background about what's going on before they created CREEP. So again, CREEP is the Committee to Re-elect the President. This is Nixon's first term. He wants to get reelected to a second term. OMG random, but I realized my subscription expired. This stream reminded me to renew. Oh my God. Hi, Jessica. They showed their whole ass with the acronym CREEP. So it was CREEP like this, Committee to Re-elect the President, and then like the media started calling them CREEP like this with the 2 E's because like they're fucking creepers. So CREEP, the Committee to Re-elect the President, was like preceded by these plumbers, and some of them were the same people, and then that's when they decided to do this shit. So let's talk about CREEP and what they actually decided to do. Oh, I meant to put that meme later. Oops. So Operation Gemstone. Operation Gemstone, this is where CREEP is deciding to break into the Watergate. This is where that like decision was made, but that was not their original plan. So in the context of the Watergate scandal, Operation Gemstone was a supposed series of illegal acts first outlined by Gordon Liddy in 2 separate meetings. So this is the CREEP meetings right here. The first meeting occurred in the Attorney General of Washington's D.C. office at 11 a.m. on January 27, 1972. Liddy described in great detail both his plan to disrupt the upcoming Democratic National Convention in Miami Beach, Florida, and his plan to prevent any disruption of the upcoming Republican National Convention, then scheduled to take place in San Diego, California. Liddy's proposals could cost somewhere approximately $1 million to carry out. Among various elements of Gemstone were planned to kidnap specific radical leaders and others who might cause trouble at the Republican convention and hold them until until the convention was over. And then apparently everyone in the meeting was like super awkward and was like, yeah, that's not what we want to do, dude. Like, that's not the plan of what we're going to do. Gordon, that's not quite what I had in mind. So, yeah. Liddy asking for $1 million to go to Miami and fuck shit up at the DNC. I told you this was a meme-heavy one. Let me look at the chat. Of course, they even thought they had enough experience from just 1 year before. Yeah, I also consult my astrologist before backpedaling. Oh my God, what's happening in the chat right now? Was Nixon the one that needed to consult his astrologer before every decision, or was that Reagan? Hi, you made it. Welcome, welcome. Party, party. And thanks everyone for the subscribing. Savage, Isaiah, Sydney Moorjohn, all the people. Thank you, thank you. Everyone in the meeting after Liddy suggested kidnapping, because like that's 0 to 100 so fast. And that was the first meeting. Imagine being in the first meeting and being like, what if we just kidnapped a bunch of people? So if you look at it, what they actually did compared to this, you know, like at least they showed some restraint and didn't do this. My spring break plans, at least save that for the third meeting. You know, like that's not first meeting material. Duh. Liddy, after everyone rejected his $1 million plan to kidnap leaders in the wrong any key leaders in the wrong location. Oh, I can't breathe. Why can I never breathe? I have the respiratory system of a pug dog. It's like kind of pathetic, actually. The people talking about crack and astrology, how basically saying Reagan conferenced with his astrologist before peddling crack into low-income communities, and then how that affects birth charts because crack causes premature births. The storyline in the chat right now. I love how your restrained for streams could cite your textbook. We're beyond that now. Yeah, because the first ones, I was like using old school shit too. Like now, because I want to do like other topics and I get ideas, I make it from scratch. Because some of my first ones were like repurposed. You know what I mean? Okay, so That was the first meeting where he laid out that $1 million plan. Now we're going to talk about the second meeting. So John Dean described his recollections. John Dean is like an advisor to the president. Not an advisor, but we'll get into it later. Described his recollections of the meeting to President Nixon. So I came over and Liddy laid out $1 million plan. That was the most incredible thing I've ever laid my eyes on. All in codes involving black bag operations, kidnapping, providing prostitutes to weaken the opposition, bugging, mugging teams. It was just an incredible thing. So again, that is like, that was their OG plan, that they were like, maybe that's too far, and then they just didn't do that one. I love watching the classroom side convos go by in the chat stream. My chat is fucking up again. I don't know. It's like really not on good behavior today. Like kind of recently she's been on better behavior, but like right now, very much not good behavior, very much not a vibe. Ooh, not good. Bingo. Oh my God, quarter life crisis. The bingo boards. Okay, so the second meeting occurred on February 4th, 1972, so a couple days later, again at Mitchell's office. The participants of this meeting were the same four men as the first, although John Dean was not present for the entire meeting. Dean himself later testified that he arrived very late to that meeting. Liddy, Magruder, and Mitchell all disputed this claim. At the February 4th meeting, Liddy proposed a scaled-down plan that would cost $500,000 to enact. Prostitutes wouldn't work nowadays because we would be like, support sex workers. Word, got my vote. While less ambitious than the January 27th agenda, Operation Gemstone, this is in the game, Operation Gemstone, still involved several proposed criminal acts, most notably including the wiretaps and eavesdrops on the telephone conversations involving Democratic Party leaders. This is the important part. Mitchell approved this plan. Mitchell is the Attorney General. The Attorney General of the United States was like, sounds good, I'm in. So, including the burglarizing of the DNC headquarters at the Watergate, to photograph campaign documents and install listening devices into telephones, Liddy was nominally in charge. So the guy whose original plan, the guy's whose OG plan was to go to Miami Beach and spend $1 million kidnapping a bunch of key leaders of the Democratic Party. That was meeting one. Meeting two, they were like, yeah, you can be in charge. You're in charge of this. Good luck. We trust you. We trust you. You're going to crush it. You're going to do amazing. And it's going to be good vibes only. So, where was I? Liddy was in charge of the operation, but has since insisted that he was duped by both Dean and two of his subordinates, Howard Hunt and James McCord. I hate this little button so much. Go away. James McCord, the later of whom was serving as the creep security coordinator. So there's lots of lying. Like, part of the reason this was confusing to make the Nearpod for is because like a lot of people's stories conflict with each other. He suggested kidnapping. No, literally. So like that's what I mean. Like, this is hard to learn about and hard to understand, and I'm starting to see why American schools don't like teach this the way they should, because so many people's stories conflicted. But again, Mitchell approved this. So now we can go back to the meme that I had at the wrong location. The Attorney General approving the plan to break into the DNC. I like this meme. Duped. He suggested kidnapping. He is literally like, he's like, what if we kidnapped all those people and held them in Mexico? And then later he's like, you guys, you tricked me into doing illegal stuff. I didn't even want to do that. Like, I didn't want to do that and you made me do that. You know what I mean? The social approval dopamine is flowing. Oh my God. I wish I had that level of trust they have in that man. I would love to have that level of trust in literally anything. In anything. Any person, any government institution. I wish I trusted them as much as they trusted this dude. Okay, so this is their plan. They're going to break in. OMG, I was just kidding. Number one defense. I didn't even want to do it. Apples. He's like, it literally wasn't even my idea and I didn't even want to do it. And like, I just think it's ridiculous that we're even talking about it. Okay, so John Mitchell being a whole attorney general approving an illegal wiretapping plan. Can the fucking street shut up, please? God. Do you guys watch Seinfeld? I started watching it recently and I like it. Bro, it was a prank. The prank. I started watching it recently. I think it has a laugh track. Mitch was just in a silly, goofy mood. He's like, I was just kidding. I was kidding. I was totally kidding. Break-in vibes, yet somehow they flopped. So again, Mitchell approves this. Liddy is in charge of it, and Liddy literally used to be like an FBI agent. Like, it's high up fucking people. So let's talk about how poorly it went. So in May, McCord assigned former FBI agent Alfred Baldwin to carry out the wiretapping and monitor the telephone conversations afterwards. So again, former FBI agent. On May 11th, McCord arranged for Baldwin, whom investigative reporter described as somehow special and perhaps known to McCord. I looked into this a little bit, and basically before this, Baldwin was like the security guard for McCord's wife. So like they knew each other a little bit, I guess, and that's why he picked him, because he was like, oh, that guy's like my wife's security guard, so I already know that he's like loyal. You know what I mean? I think that was the vibes. Maybe should I put some lemon juice in this? It's just like, it's too malty. I need it to be a little punchier. You know what I mean? Okay. So, McCord arranged for Baldwin to stay at the Howard Johnson's motel across from the Watergate complex and booked it in the name of McCord's company. At the orders of Liddy and Hunt, McCord and his team of burglars prepared for their first Watergate break-in on May 28th. It's insane to me that every time our government tries to commit coups and treasons and things like that, they always carry the plan out so poorly. That's what gets me. It's like, y'all have all this money and all these resources. Like, what's the fucking problem? Okay, so 2 phones inside the DNC's headquarters were said to have been wiretapped. One of them was Robert Spencer Oliver's phone. At the time, Oliver was working as the executive director of the Associate Democratic Chairman. The other phone belonged to the chairman, Larry O'Brien. The FBI found no evidence that O'Brien's phone was bugged. However, it was determined that a listening device was installed on Oliver's phone. While successful with installing the device, the committee's agents soon determined that they needed repairs. The wiretaps failed to work properly. The wiretaps failed to work properly. When you're literally the FBI and can't manage to tap a phone, I don't understand how this was like the feds, literally former FBI, and they somehow fucked this up. So they broke in twice. The first break-in that we just talked about, they fucked up the wiretapping and didn't even do it successfully. And like, I'm glad they weren't successful, and I'm glad that they got caught or whatever, because like evil is wrong. But like, that is embarrassing. That is so embarrassing to fuck that up. At your grown age, you can't even wiretap a phone, and you were in the FBI? I see why they're exactly, Venus Flytrap 25. You, as a former FBI agent, cannot wiretap a phone. You should be ashamed of yourself. A bored teenager from Nevada could have done it better, literally. They were paid tax dollars to do illegally... Wait, let me read. They were paid tax dollars to illegally do the one thing they should be able to do. Literally, it's like, you had one job. It's giving Bay of Pigs vibes in terms of success level. It's like embarrassing for them that they weren't able to do that. So, what scares you more? The government's evil activity or how incompetent people in important government jobs are? Because I don't know if it's scarier that they're breaking into their opponents' like offices and the election, or the fact that they can't manage to do it. I don't know which one of those things is scarier to me. To be honest, I can't pick. So I'm making you pick. If you want to vote in this poll, here's the Nearpod. Welcome if you're new here. I must just put that man's name in the Nearpod or in the chat. That was wrong. The incompetence. Literally, it's like, what's wrong with you? I don't know what's more embarrassing, but they should be embarrassed. The incompetence is definitely scarier. I kind of think so too, because like evil shit, they're not going to be evil on everything, you know? Like if someone's evil, they're only going to be evil on things that can benefit them, and everything else they're just going to kind of ignore. But like if you're incompetent, you're just going to fuck everything up all the time. Yeah, exactly. The incompetence, because it affects the good and the bad. Exactly. Because it's like the incompetence, like even if they're trying to do a good job, they're not going to, and it's going to affect everything. But the evil greediness will probably just affect some things. Their incompetence is my only solace, because it means they won't get their evil, greedy, awful ways. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Very mixed results there. When you can't even be evil, right? It's embarrassing. It's truly embarrassing. So break up vibes for real this time. So due to that fuck up back in May, the fact that the good guys didn't prosecute them is what scares me. Well, we gonna get all into that. Okay, so after that fuck up, on June 17th, a group of 5 burglars came back to the Watergate building, and after midnight, the security guard, Frank Willis, noticed tape covering latches on the doors. Like, you know how you can put a piece of tape over the part so the door will close, but like the little thingy is blocked by the tape so it doesn't like go into the lock? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like leave, so it's closed, but it's open. Like it's unlocked because the lock isn't going in because of the tape. I don't know why I felt the need to explain that 4 times. He removed the tape, believing it was nothing, and then returned a short time later and discovered that someone had retaped the locks. He called the police because, like, again, it's the incompetence. It's like, you taped it, someone took it off, you should have left at that moment. Like, if I was going to break in somewhere and I taped the doors and then when I went back, the tape had been taken off, I'd be like, we need to go. We can try this another day. We can try another strategy, but we need to leave immediately. Like, right away, get up out of there because you have already essentially been caught. But no, a literal fucking FBI agent was like, no, let's retape it. Just put new tape on there. I'm sorry, but finding it taped once would have been it for me. 911 immediately. Thank you for the explanation on the door. I was confused. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. Second time's the charm, motherfuckers. Nick Cage would have pulled this off. He stole the Declaration of Independence. Can't even just hire a lockpicker. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're the FBI. You're the FBI, and the best you can do is a piece of duct tape on the door. And after it gets taken off, you just do the same thing again. What's that saying? The definition of insanity is doing something again and again and expecting different results. Okay, so he called the police. Responding to the call was an unmarked police officer with 3 plainclothes officers. So basically, or unmarked police car with 3 plainclothes officers, because basically they're trying to like not look like cops, I guess, because they were like undercover or whatever. They had been working the overnight bum squad dressed as hippies on the lookout for drug deals and other crimes. Whatever, man. Like, whatever these cops are up to, they showed up and they didn't look like cops when they showed up to respond to the call is basically what you need to take away. And this part kills me. Alfred Baldwin was the spotter at the hotel across the street, was distracted because he was watching the movie Attack of the Puppet People and failed to notice the police car, so he didn't warn his crew. His job was to be in that hotel as a lookout, and he was watching Attack of the Puppet People. So the police caught these guys, which is absolutely ridiculous. ADHD rep. I love the ADHD representation in history when you have one thing you're supposed to be doing and somehow manage to not do it. I know it was the 70s, but weren't security cameras a thing? I don't really know. Was Peter Griffin the security guard? This feels like a Family Guy bit. Like, this is a joke to me. It's a joke. Like, it's embarrassing. Okay. Oh, my eyes burn. So he didn't see the officers, and by the time that he noticed unusual activity on the 6th floor and radioed the burglars, it was already too late. Imagine being the burglars. I'd be so fucking mad when I found out that it was Attack of the Puppet People. I'd be like, are you fucking serious? You're fucking serious? That you got distracted watching Attack of the Puppet People? 3 Gen Z kids with severe anxiety could have pulled this off better than these grown-ass World War II vets. It's like, this was the middle of the Vietnam War, and this is the best y'all can do. The FBI is literally just some guys they found on the street, I swear. It's so embarrassing. Okay, so the police apprehended the 5 men. I'm not going to read through their names. They were charged with attempted burglary. It would have been less embarrassing if he was distracted by porn. I completely agree. That would have been less embarrassing. Sitting in the jail cell. You mean to tell me that you were watching Attack of the Puppet People? I want to be in that jail cell right now. These are the people that require me to have a credit score. Our government is so embarrassing. I'd take that to my grave. I'd be like, Lena, I'd take that to my grave. I'd be like, my walkie-talkie broke, guys. I switched channel by mistake. I would not tell anyone that either. I'd be like, oh my God, I slipped and fell in the bathroom and passed out. And when I woke up, it was too late. That would be my story. Someone tried to mug me, I swear to God. I would at least change the movie I was on. You couldn't even say it was like a football game. Like, Attack of the Puppet People. Okay, so the police arrested these guys. They were charged with attempted burglary and attempted interception of telephone and other communications. The Washington Post reported that the police found lockpicks. Maybe they did have the lockpicks. Door jimmies, almost $2,300 in cash, most of it in 100 bills with a serial number in sequence. This is the sketch part right here. In $100 bills with the serial numbers in sequence. That means like those bills were produced one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, which is like, usually if you get money, like that's not how it is. Like if I went to my bank and got some money, that would most likely not be the case, that it would be that way. Like it would only be that way if it's like brand new money from the government, you know? So it's like red flag that the serial numbers are lining up like that. That's why bank robbers ask for non-sequential bills. Exactly, because it's like why you got that? Like, why do you have it like that? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything illegal, so if you have it, don't freak out. But, like, it's just a little bit odd. A shortwave receiver that could pick up police calls, 40 rolls of unexposed films, 2 35mm cameras, and 3 pen-sized tear gas guns. I was a cashier and we had $300 bills in sequence once. Ooh, that's cool. You see what I mean? It can happen, but it's not like the usual. Who would win? A team created by the feds with a literal FBI agent or Attack of the Puppet People? I think the answer is Attack of the Puppet People. It would have been better if the movie was Reefer Madness. Oh my God. We should have a Reefer Madness watch party. It's easier to track because the government can say bills between X number X and X were stolen, used in ransom, or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I'm still not over that. I'm never going to be over that. I found that out like literally 45 minutes ago, like before I was on here. So maybe like 2 hours ago. And I was like, Attack of the Puppet People? Are you fucking me right now? Are you fucking me? So ACAB, but pretty cool that the police caught them. Like if you really think about it, if these people had never been caught, this probably never would have come out. Like it never would have come out that any of this shit happened. So like ACAB always, but like dope that they did catch these people. I started working in a bank last week and we literally have bait money that's sequential in case we get robbed. OMG. We should watch Attack of the Puppet People to see what the hype is about. This is going to be one of those things I think of at random and chuckle. Good. I'm glad. I hope you think of me and laugh. That was kind of romantic, sorry. Sorry if I made it weird. Okay, so now we're going to kind of get into more of this timeline vibes. Honestly, why do we still need to say ACAB? Because these people are so goddamn stupid, it's embarrassing. Okay, so cops are only good when they're arresting higher level cops. You know what I mean? Like, because this team was created by the president, like, they can arrest up. Cops should only be allowed to arrest up. You know what I mean? They should have done away with themselves. Okay, so June 17th, 1972, that is when they got caught. That was the police. Arrest your own and we're cool. Cops can only arrest each other. We should do that. We should like Hunger Games style police reform. Someone feel free to clip this. I think to reform the police, like we just develop some kind of system that's like, if you rat out another police officer for doing something bad and you arrest them, you get like $100 Visa gift card or something like that. And then like everyone that gets arrested, like we'll give them a fair trial, obviously, but like they're going to be motivated, you know what I mean? Maybe we need to make it more than $100, whatever. We can work the details out later. But like all the cops are going to be motivated to go after each other and build cases against each other. And then it'll just fall apart from the inside. And then eventually all of them will have gone after each other, that the only people left still working there would be people that are like clean as a whistle. You know what I mean? Like play them against each other, I think is our best strategy for police reform. Because they can't reform, like we can't just give them more money and be like, do better. And then, like, it's hard for other people to go in because they're also, like, tight-knit and secretive with each other. So I feel like as a criminal defense attorney, I will not want to represent those cops, though. No, this is in my court, and they're not entitled to representation. Unfortunately. They're not. They're not. You're not. That's the only part of laws we're breaking. They don't get representation. They have to represent themselves. So they have to represent themselves, but also the other side, I don't know how court works. The other side is like not a lawyer either. The other side is the police officer going after them. They did that to leftists with COINTELPRO, so I feel like it's only fair. Yeah, it's like just rat on each other. And then we'll just take it from there. The redacted rights, you have the right to remain silent. Unfortunately, you do not get a lawyer. Maybe instead of a lawyer, they can have like a paralegal intern that makes a living wage. If they're nice to them. They have to be nice to them. Just someone to explain the paperwork to them. They don't get anyone to defend them. They just have someone to help them with the paperwork. That's all they get. So they get legal representation in that front. They can have a political science major. You can have a political science major as a treat. Okay? You have the right to remain silent. You do not have the right to a lawyer. You have to buy them Starbucks or the intern and throw them under the bus. That's what it is. Okay, so you get representation. It's a paralegal intern. They make $30 an hour. We pay a living wage around these parts. But they reserve the right to do like a sneak attack on you. Look, you're going to be a Red Scare with false accusations by the end. The police have been making false accusations against us for years. So let them make one picture. Let them make false accusations against each other. So this is the plan. You, as the police officer, when you're getting put on trial for all the terrible things you've done, you get legal representation in the form of a paralegal intern who makes $30 an hour. The quality of representation that you're getting is dependent on how you treat that person, because they are allowed to Uno reverse you and not tell you about it until you're live in the courtroom, and then like a noise of some kind will go off, and then the person stands up and goes to the other side, and you have to represent yourself. I think that's fair. You get legal representation, but they are allowed to leave you if you're a dick about it, or if they think you did the thing. I think this is a good plan, you guys. I have not heard a politician put forward a plan this good. And they can give all the info they have to the other side. Exactly. They can. They can take all those documents and anything you've told them. So act accordingly. Attorney-client privilege, you don't have that. You don't get that around here. I like this plan. Exactly, because then the police will be like wrapping their brains. They'll be like, and someone in the chat who said all the police, like if you report someone and then they are found guilty, you get a Ford F-150. All the police, they're going to want that Ford F-150. So they're going to be like, oh, you fucking remember when we were at that 7-Eleven and Mark beat the shit out of that guy? That was 5 years ago. But I remember it, and I had a body cam on, and I didn't turn it in that, like shit's going to start coming out. Like people will be thinking, attorney-client privilege doesn't exist when there isn't an attorney. Exactly. That's why you get a paralegal intern that is allowed to Uno reverse you at any moment in time and not tell you till it's too late. You guys, I really think we can solve the world this way. I believe in us. Attorney-client privilege? Sorry, I follow the redacted rights. I've never heard of that. There would be bloodshed, LMFAO. Let it burn. Stack their salaries. You rat someone out, you get their salary. Anyone that you get rid of, you get their health insurance, their salary, and their police car and dog. But don't tell them ahead of time. Let them think it exists. I don't want to be a president. I want to be a dictator. My grandpa had this saying. My granddad was a wealth of wisdom. If you're looking down on me, thank you. He had this saying. Fuck, what was it? Damn it. I lost it. What was it again? Oh, it was about dictators. So he had this saying that he said, a dictatorship is the most effective form of government. The problem is most of the dictators are assholes, because he was like, he hated bureaucracy. He worked for the federal government for years. He worked in like banking regulations. So like he had seen some shit. Like by the end of his life, he was like super leftist and was like, fuck everyone. Because he worked in banking regulations. So he saw how terrible they were through like everything. Like also, side note, when the 2008 crisis happened, like before that, in 2007, my granddad was like heavily drinking at his lake house on his pension, living his best life, was chilling. And then the U.S. federal government fucking called his ass in 2007. And they're like, what's up, dude? We know you've been retired for like 10 years. But we think that the government is about to have like a massive crisis, like a financial banking crisis. So if you could come back and help us like regulate the banks to avoid that, that would be dope. And he was like, no, I like being retired. And then he didn't go help. And then the entire economy crashed. And sometimes I wonder, like, was he the missing link? Like, was he the reason that happened? Like, he never was that high up. Like, he was high up, but he was never, like, with the president. You know what I mean? He never made more than, like, I think, like, $90,000 a year, which was a lot, especially back then. But, like, he wasn't the president. And now I'm like, did you cause the 2008 crisis? The real irony is my parents almost lost their house in the 2008 crisis, and we almost had to move in with him. So he really almost played himself. Gramps said, fuck off, I'm living my best life. No, literally, he was like on his boat and he was like, I do not fucking care. He was like, goodbye. Your grandfather said, I heard you bitches were looking for me. Grandpa Redacted said, then perish. He was like, I don't care. He was like, I'm good. Also, one time, he was like, before he worked for the federal government, he like managed a bank. And one time he was being the manager of the bank and a guy came in and he was like, hi, welcome to the bank. How can I help you? And then the guy pulled out a gun and was like, I'm fucking robbing you. And my grandpa was like, and then the guy tried to shoot my grandpa. Like, the guy came up to him and put the gun like on his forehead and tried to shoot him. But the gun was like fucked up and the thingy wouldn't go. Like, he couldn't get something. I don't fucking know how guns work, but he couldn't shoot him, and so he just smacked my grandpa across the head with the gun, and then he passed out, and then the guy robbed the bank, and then my grandpa woke up and was like, damn, that was crazy, and then he just went home. Isn't that like the most man story you've ever heard? That they just get up and go home? But yeah, back to what my grandpa believed about dictatorships, is he always said, like, he hated the government and hated bureaucracy, and he was like, our government is stupid, a dictatorship is the best, because a dictatorship is efficient, and you can get change done really quickly, and all of that. He just said, like, he was like, but most people that are willing to be a dictator are, like, power hungry, so they do a bad job. And he said, all we need is an ethical dictator for, like, 5 years to fix the country, was his plan. He said, we just need an ethical dictator for a while. And, like, he was ahead of his time with that. He was truly ahead of his time with that one. Have all grandpas been robbed at gunpoint? Because mine has it too. Oh, I passed out. Well, anyway. In 2008, my parents told me we couldn't afford new Halloween costumes, and I thought that was the worst thing I'd ever heard. Meanwhile, they're about to lose the house. This is why I could never have kids, because you could be facing such a crisis, and they're, like, screaming, and they're like, I don't have a Halloween costume. And, like, bitch, we're gonna be homeless. But, like, I can't tell you that, because then you'll be messed up because of it. Big mood. Okay, so let's get back to Watergate and the timeline. Oh my god, it's already 8:45. Everyone focus. So, those 5 men get arrested, and then days later, the White House denied involvement of the break-in. This is a little bit misleading. It makes it sound like, where it's like, oh, they denied involvement. It makes it sound like someone was like, were you involved? Which it didn't happen. Basically what happened is they were like, hey, these people got caught, like, at, like the, you know, like Jen Psaki, something like that, her job, like the White House press secretary. They asked the White House press secretary, they're like, hey, did you hear about this Watergate break-in? It was in D.C. at the, like, DNC. What do you think? And they were like, we don't really care about a low-level break-in. Like, obviously that wasn't us, is what happened. They didn't say obviously it wasn't us, but they were like, that's a very low-level break-in, like a, not rookie, what's the word? Like cheap, not rookie. What is it? Amateur. It's like an amateur break-in. So they were like, why? Okay, like, big news, whoop whoop. Okay, Then, June 17th, 1972, Washington Post reporters Bob Woodward is sent to the arraignment of the burglars. Another Post reporter, Carl Bernstein, volunteers to make some phone calls to learn more about the burglary. So these two journalists are like, this is weird. Rich of them calling it amateur. Yeah, literally. It's like, you did such a bad job. That's why it was amateur. They denied their involvement because they were embarrassed of their incompetence. Exactly. They were like, they heard about the attack of the puppet people, and they were like, do not claim that shit. Do not claim that shit. Bob Woodward per. Okay, so Bob Woodward has his first of several meetings with the source and the informant known as Deep Throat, whose identity, Mark Felt, the associate director of the FBI, was only revealed 3 decades later. So Deep Throat, that's the associate director of the FBI, but we don't know that when this happened. I don't know why it's called Deep Throat. I don't know why it's so sexual. Again, like, the FBI... Look at this piece of hair. Do these happen to you where this gets stuck in your laundry like little chunks of hair? This is what Cupcake is trying to tell us. Oh my God. Okay. So things are starting to look sketchy. Now it's August 1st, still 1972. An article in the Washington Post reports that a check for $25,000 earmarked for Nixon's 1972 re-election campaign was deposited into the bank account of one of the men arrested for the break-in. Over the course of nearly 2 years, Bob and Carl continue to file stories about the Watergate scandal, relying on many sources. Creep is worse than Deep Throat. Yeah, so at this point, like, this is news, but this is not national breaking news at this point. This is where things are starting to look sus, but it's like not on the national stage yet. And then August 30th, Nixon announces that John Dean, who is his like lawyer, like he's like a law advisor to the president, some shit like that, has completed an internal investigation into the Watergate break-in and has found no evidence of White House involvement. So August 30th, Nixon's like, we cleaned house, we checked, no one here knew about it, no one here was involved, checkmate, bitch. And then, which, like, why are they allowed to conduct their own investigation? Like, obviously the president's lawyer would be in on it, so why is he the one doing the investigation? He was at the kidnapping meeting, of course he claims nothing happened. Exactly. He was like, yeah, we're good. Internal investigations are sus. Yeah, exactly. And whenever a company's like, we've done an internal investigation, I'm like, okay, I'm sure that was unbiased. Okay, so the Washington Post reports that while serving as Attorney General, John Mitchell had controlled a secret fund to finance intelligence gathering against Democrats. When Carl Bernstein calls Mitchell for comment, Mitchell threatens both Bernstein and Katharine Graham, the publisher of the Post, and the Post prints the threat. So this is news, but it's not everyone knowing about it. You know what I mean? This is still in the newspaper. It's not like every single person on earth knows about this. Woodward and Bernstein then in October reported that the FBI had made connections between Nixon aides and the Watergate break-in. Then in October 1972, articles by Woodward and Bernstein describe the existence of major dirty tricks in the campaign conducted against the presidential candidate Edmund Muskie, orchestrated by Donald Segretti and others paid by Creep and Nixon's private attorney. So he's like, we didn't go with the first option, we're good. No, literally. He's like, well, it wasn't plan A. He's like, we scaled it down. It wasn't even that serious. So articles, like we said, articles get published that this is starting to come out. So at this point, this is news, but not TV national news every single night. Everyone knows about it. So it's like a thing people are talking about, but it's not everyone yet. So it's like starting to come out and be rumored, but keep in mind, this is also before like the internet and all that shit. And this is before the election. So November 1972, not that much stuff has come out. Like we have these rumblings and we have this weirdness and these connections and things are starting to come out, but a lot of people don't know about it. So then, November 7th, 1972, can you go back? My computer is having a fit with the notes. Oh my God, of course. November 1972, Nixon is elected to a second term in office, and you can see he won by like a fucking lot. Holy Mother of God, how did that man get that kind of support? Bro, who fucking knows at this point? God. That map, I know, right? I'm gonna stay here on the notes for a sec, or on the text for a second for Elena, but then I'll go back to the map. Yeah, he won by like a lot. So it's like the rumblings of this. Keep in mind, he was also the incumbent. It's scary seeing so much red. I know, right? It is scary up in this bitch. I gasped. Do you guys remember? It was like the 2016 election, I think, where like, or no, it was the 2018 midterms where the Republicans began controlling like a lot of Senate seats and stuff like that. Red feels like propaganda these days, voter suppression because of the war on drugs. Yeah, that's another good point. But there was like a headline and a really scary graphic from when Republicans like got control of Congress in the last like 5 years. So Nixon is elected to the second term in office, defeating McGovern. You can see literally like, oh my God, this is a terrifying map. That looks like what Trump claims the 2020 map looks like. This map is Trump's wet dream, literally. This all red map. So, do you think Nixon would have still won if people knew the truth in August? Because remember, there were like a little bit of rumors and like some connections coming out. That's props the map they showed him. So it's like there's connections coming out, and like Watergate's definitely starting to become more of a thing. But people didn't know that Nixon knew shit. People didn't know how crazy it was, and like all that shit. So do you think he still would have won if people did know that? So option A is yes, Americans are very stupid. Option B is no way he would have won. You can answer in this cord is not long enough. You can answer in the chat as well. I'd like to think he wouldn't have won. Like a lot of people are voting A. Americans are very stupid. It's embarrassing for us. Truly, madly, deeply, very much embarrassing for us. Okay. So, side note, they also kidnapped this lady to cover it up. Martha Mitchell was the wife of Nixon's Attorney General John Mitchell, the guy that approved this shit, who had recently resigned so that he could become a campaign manager for Creep. John Mitchell was aware that Martha knew McCord, one of the Watergate burglars, and that upon finding out, she not knew him, but knew he had been arrested. And upon finding out, she was likely to speak to the media. We don't like to think we've been duped while we're actively being duped. I still have faith in humanity option. Why are they wanting to kidnap everyone? OMG. I know, it's really bad. I shouldn't be laughing. But anyway, when John Mitchell figured out that his wife was going to go to the media about one of the Watergate burglars being arrested and all that shit, that she, like, in his opinion, her knowing McCord was likely to link the Watergate burglary to Nixon, John Mitchell instructed guards in her security detail to not let her contact the media. So, in June 1972, during a phone call with the United Press International reporter Helen Thomas, Martha Mitchell said that she was leaving her husband until he resigned from Creep, and the phone call ended abruptly. A few days later, Marcia Kramer, a veteran crime reporter, tracked Mitchell to the Westchester Country Club and described Mitchell as a beaten woman with visible bruises. And Mitchell reported that during the week following the Watergate burglary, she had been held captive in the Watergate Complex Hotel, which, like, they held you captive in the hotel that they broke into. That was their in the hotel that they broke into is where they decided to keep her. It's the incompetence for me. It's the incompetence. OMG, never mind. This is 1,000 times worse. And her security guard, Steve King, ended her call to Thomas by pulling the phone cord from the wall. Mitchell made several attempts to escape via the balcony, but was physically accosted, injured, and forcefully sedated by a psychiatrist. Following the conviction in his role in Watergate, McCord's admitted Mitchell had been basically kidnapped and corroborated her reports of the event. I saw this on BuzzFeed Unsolved and still can't believe it. Yeah, the same fucking hotel. There's a BuzzFeed Unsolved about this? That's good to know. So, we start to have some fallout from the break-in. So, the Watergate break-in trial begins. Like, the one for the burglars. Like, this one's not on TV and shit. Like, this is the one for the burglars that actually broke in. So, former Nixon aide and FBI agent Gordon Liddy and James McCord and former security director are convicted for their roles in the break-in. Now people care because they're like, oh shit, they're fucking guilty. They are found guilty of conspiracy, bugging the DNC headquarters, and burglary. 4 others, including Howard Hunt, had already pled guilty. Judge Judge John Sirica threatens the convicted burglar with long prison sentences unless they talk. So now people care. Like, now it's getting serious, and now people are like, oh shit, this is like kind of important. Then March 21st, 1973, in a White House meeting, the counsel John Dean, former attorney who served as counsel, remember I said he's like his guy, tells Nixon, so in 1973, he says, "We have a cancer within close to the presidency that growing," and he and Nixon discuss how to pay the Watergate bribers as much as $1 million in cash to continue the cover-up. Oh, does someone need the link? Oh, link of the BuzzFeed Unsolved thing. Yeah, someone find that. Can I find that? Probably. I'll find it at the end and type it in there. Someone remind me once we're done. So then, March 23rd, 1973, Watergate burglar James McCord's letter confessing the existence of a wider conspiracy is read in open court by the judge, and the cover-up starts to unravel. So now the letter that's being read from McCord that's like, hey, this is really big. What a little coward wouldn't stand up in court, had the judge read his letter, but whatever. So then April 6th, this is when Dean starts cooperating with prosecutors. Then April 9th, the New York Times reports that McCord told the Senate Watergate Committee that a Republican group had made cash payoffs to the Watergate burglars. In 1973, the acting FBI director, Patrick Gray, resigns after admitting he destroyed documents given to him by John Dean days after the break-in. And then April 30th, the Watergate scandal intensifies as Nixon announces that the White House aides John Ehrlichman and H.R. Haldeman have resigned. White House counsel John Dean is fired. So April 6th, the Dean is like, yeah, I'll cooperate with prosecutors. And then April 30th, the president fires him. That is not a good look. I hope he did it better than the CIA in destroying documents. Oh my God, the MK Ultra documents where they missed 20,000 pages. Literally, it's so embarrassing. Our government is so incompetent, even when they're doing evil shit. Okay. Attorney General Richard Kleinstein resigns. Later that night, Nixon delivers his first primetime address to the nation on Watergate, stressing his innocence. So, like, everyone is quitting or getting fired. And then Nixon is on TV to the American people and is like, oh my God, you guys, I literally didn't even do anything. This is just getting like really out of hand and it's not my fault and I've done nothing wrong in my entire life. How have we not been invaded and taken over at some point? We are so incompetent. I honestly think like that's the only reason is because no one has tried. You know? Like, I think if someone really wanted to. We should have never won the War of 1812. My God. So, investigations continue. Senator Sam Ervin opens the Senate Select Committee on the presidential campaign activities into the Watergate incident. So, this Select Committee on presidential campaign activities is basically like the Senate investigating this. Because Canada and Mexico don't want us and we are far too far for anyone to get us. Exactly. That's what I mean. We're too big. Like, if we had an opponent that was, like, our size that gave enough of a shit, we'd be screwed. Where'd I go? Okay. So first, nationally televised hearings begin. This is when the media starts going crazy, and this is when, like, every American knows about this, because now it's on TV every night. So before this, only people that, like, read the news knew about this, but now it's on TV, and everybody knows about it, and everyone's freaking the fuck out. So Attorney General Designate Elliot Richard appoints a law professor and former U.S. Solicitor General Cox as special prosecutor in the Watergate investigation. So our government is like, we are not fucking around, and we are putting some serious people in charge of this. Then the Washington Post reports that Dean told Watergate prosecutors that he discussed the cover-up with Nixon at least 35 times. So it's not like it was one conversation. It's not like it was on the low. It was like a topic of conversation like every fucking day. On June 25th, and keep in mind, he's fired at this point, so he doesn't fucking care. Dean testifies before the Senate Select Committee about Nixon's involvement. So this cover-up is, like, all the way unraveled at this point. Definitely, like, people know about this. Then, July 13th, Alexander Butterfield, which is a terrible name, former presidential appointments secretary, basically like the person who makes all the appointments and like keeps their schedule, meets with Senate investigators where he reveals the existence of an extensive secret taping system in the White House. Messy, messy, messy. And then on July 16th, he testifies before the Senate committee in a live broadcast revealing that since 1971, Nixon had recorded all conversations and telephone calls in his office. Imagine being the special prosecutor. Imagine being General Cox and finding that out. I'd be like, you got that shit on tape? You recorded it? You recorded your conversation of the illegal shit you're doing? I'd be like, give me that shit right now. Give me that shit right fucking now. Nixon in the White House. This is him. Nixon recording everything he's doing. Recording incriminating evidence. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for his soul. It's embarrassing for his spirit. It's just embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? And then on July 18th, 1973, Nixon reportedly orders the taping system disconnected. So again, July 13th is when this comes out. This is a question in the game. July 13th is when on television, on live TV, it's revealed that Nixon has recorded all these conversations. And then on July 18th, Nixon is like, shut that shit down. He's like, delete that shit. Turn it off. Stop recording. We're done. We're done. Shut it down. It's best to record all your criminal conspiracies. Like, do not write that shit down. Do not record it. Do not write it down. That's the stupidest. Cut the cameras. Dead ass. No, Nixon's literally, he's like, okay. So things are getting worse. From July to October, 5 days, literally 5 days, he was like, shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down right now. So from July to October, President Nixon refuses to turn over the recordings of the White House conversations to the Senate investigation into Cox. The tapes are believed to include evidence that Nixon and his aides had attempted to cover up the involvement in Watergate, and Nixon files appeals and various subpoenas ordering him to give over the tapes. Basically, Nixon was like, but why was that not an immediate order? Just stop recording now. I have no idea. What was I about to say? Oh, Nixon was like, I have executive privilege. I don't have to give you the tapes because I'm the president. That's why he was refusing to give them, is because he was like, I'm the president. I don't have to do that. And then our government was like, yeah, you kind of do, dude. Like, it's not really optional. And then August 15th, the same day that the Senate Select Committee wraps up its hearing, so Nixon delivers a second primetime address about Watergate, saying, it has become clear that both the hearings themselves and some of the commentaries on them have become increasingly absorbed in an effort to implicate the president personally in the illegal activities that took place. He reminded the American people that he had already taken full responsibility for the abuses that occurred during my administration. But I don't know what he's referring to. When did you take full responsibility? If anyone knows, let me know, because I don't think that's a thing. So Nixon is still like, I'm innocent. I've done nothing wrong. He hasn't released the tapes. He's saying he did nothing wrong. The American people are like, dude, this is weird. Like, this is really, really fucking weird. And then the VP starts fucking up. So Vice President Spiro Agnew resigns because amidst bribery and income tax evasion charges that were unrelated to the Watergate break-in. So then 2 days later, Nixon nominates this guy, Gerald Ford. He was a congressman from Michigan, to be the president, and Ford is sworn in December. I would fucking love to see the conversation between Nixon and his VP after his VP got caught up in that shit. So again, his VP is getting caught with bribery and income tax evasion. One, if you are taking bribes, pay your fucking taxes. You can only be doing one illegal thing at a time. Like, if you have drugs in your car, make sure your registration is up to date. Make sure your lights work. If you are taking bribes, make sure you pay the government all the money that they ask you to, and on time and early and with a smile on your face. Like, one illegal thing at a time. One illegal thing at a time. Don't do illegal shit while you're doing illegal shit. Exactly. You have to prioritize the illegal thing you need to do. The government is always getting people on tax evasion and not their real crimes. Exactly. Pay your fucking taxes. Nixon and his VP, after the VP made the biggest scandal even more chaotic somehow. I feel like that's what probably this meeting was like. I love this gif. I don't even know what it's from, but I love it. It's just like the calmness in her face. Like she's so calm and just like sloshes this water or this like champagne at him and then just like sets it down so delicately on the table. Like that's why I love this gift more than anything. Truly. Ford going from Michigan congressman to VP overnight. I miss this movie. I want to watch this movie right now. I'm in the mood to watch it. So, still tense, still weird. October 19th, Nixon attempts a legal maneuver to avoid handing over the tapes, suggesting that U.S. Senator John Stennis summarize the tapes, and Cox will refuse the offer the next day. I don't know why the fuck he thought this was going to work. I don't know why he thought it's from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Thank you. Whoopsie daisy, I didn't do my taxes. I don't know why he thought this thing was going to work. Like, I don't know why he thought having a senator summarize the tapes for investigators was an option. Also, why did he pick this senator? Did he just call him and he was like, hey, John, I need a really big fucking favor. Like, I need a really big favor. Then Nixon ordered the firing of the special prosecutor Cox. So the guy that's supposed to be, like, investigating him, the special prosecutor, Nixon orders that guy to be fired. Is that a good look? Do we think it is a good look to try and fire the person prosecuting you? Very much not a good look. Like, if you're being prosecuted for doing unethical shit as the president, you probably shouldn't do more unethical shit in the process of the investigation. You know what I mean? This becomes known as Saturday Night Massacre because the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General resigned rather than carry out these orders. They were like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to quit. And then the Solicitor General Robert Bork fires Cox. Several days later, Leon Jarowski is appointed as second special prosecutor. So like, this is literally just becoming batshit crazy. Like, I don't even know another way to describe it because, like, everyone's quitting, everyone's getting fired, and then new people are in charge of the investigation, and then, like, now we have all these new players. You see why I was, like, struggling to put this together? Because I was like, this is a lot bigger of a scandal than I realized. Nixon in the White House, like, all the people quitting and getting fired and then like resigning because they refused to fire the other person and then this new guy coming in, this is just too much for me and I can't handle it and I'm not okay. It's very much not a vibe. Very much not a vibe. And then November 17th, 1973, keep in mind like where we started, like from the investigation. Like this has been going on for so long now. And then during a televised press conference in Florida, Nixon famously declares, I am not a crook, and continues to profess his innocence. So even after all of this shit, like even after he is refusing to give over the tapes, he's firing everyone's resigning, all of that shit, the congressman from Michigan. That's my favorite emoji ever. I use it with my coworkers all the time, and I don't think anyone gets it except for me, but I literally am just addicted to it. So Nixon says, I'm innocent, I haven't done anything. But like, if you haven't done anything, why the fuck are you firing everyone and their mother if you've done nothing wrong? Nixon saying, I am not a crook after doing the most crook shit possible for years. The scary part about Watergate is that so many people in the high government were involved. There's probably way more that we don't know about. That's what scares me about Watergate is like, if those men had not gotten arrested and then the journalist hadn't have like been on that arrest and continued to look into it, this never would have happened, I don't think. Because like if those guys, we owe this to the movie Attack on the Puppet People. Attack of the Puppet People being on TV that night was the catalyst for Nixon getting in trouble and resigning over Watergate. That is crazy. That is like butterfly effect to the fucking max. Like if that movie had not have been on, he might have warned them. They wouldn't have gotten caught. Maybe they would have done a successful break-in later, and then Nixon would have won the election, and there never even would have been a cover-up. Imagine being the guy that got the government taken down by Attack of the Puppet People. Is he a hero? I think maybe. He's not a hero because he was a part of this group, but like, it's funny. Then November 21st, the White House Watergate counsel Fred Buzzard, so this is basically like counsel to the president, reveals the existence of an 18.5-minute gap on the tape of a Nixon-Hadelman conversation on June 20th. The White House is unable to explain the gap, although Nixon's secretary, Mary Rose Woods, says that she accidentally erased the material. This part is very sus, very confusing. I want to go back in time and tell a founding father that Attack of the Puppet People brought down a president. Oh my God. I want a time machine just for that now. So indictments are handed down for the Watergate 7, including John Mitchell, H.R. Haldeman, and John Ehrlichman. The grand jury names Nixon as an unindicated co-conspirator. And then April 30th, this is where the tapes start to come out. Mary, no, don't incriminate yourself. Don't get into bed with a girl. Literally could have had it in the background. Okay, so this is where shit starts to get released. Unfortunately, that just means the likelihood of us catching something similar to that is entirely up to chance. We just got to start creeping. We got to start being creepier. And we have the internet now. I feel like that makes it easier and harder, you know? But anyway, God, that's disgusting. Transcripts started to get released. So they're not releasing the tapes, but transcripts for more than 1,200 pages of edited and like redacted transcripts are released by the White House. So this is the OG redacted. I'm not even the OG redacted. They start releasing transcripts of the tapes, but like taking out some of the information. Oh, I can't breathe. And then May 9th, the House Judiciary Committee starts impeachment proceedings against Nixon. So, like, transcripts are coming out, impeachment vibes are starting. Matt Gaetz got caught dating underage teenage girl because of his Venmo, so I think dedicated people will always find shady people do shady shit. I don't even know anything about that, but now I want to look into this. Okay, so as people read over the transcripts, former supporters of the public and the media all called for Nixon's resignation or impeachment. Vice President Gerald Ford even said, well, it may be easy to delete characterization from the printed page. We cannot delete characterization from people's minds with a wave of the hand. Senate Republican leader said it revealed deplorable, disgusting, shabby, and immoral performance on the part of the president and his former aides, because there was a lot of shit, like, in these tapes, if you get what I'm saying, or in the transcripts of the tapes, and that Nixon ought to consider resigning as a possible option was said. The Chicago Tribune wrote, a newspaper that had supported Nixon wrote, he is humorless to the point of being inhumane, he's devious, he's vacillating, he's profane, he's willing to be led, he displays dismay, gaps in knowledge, he is suspicious of his staff, and his loyalty is minimal. Just tweeted you in a meme about Attack of the Puppet People. Oh my God. Let me look at this right now. I like Twitter. I'm having a good time on Twitter. Oh my God. Thank you. I love this. Nixon resigning. For everyone who wants to see the meme. It's this one. It's like not going to do it because it's too bright. Let me try and turn this down, maybe. There we go. It's like the Attack of the Puppet People movie and then Nixon resigning. Yeah, let me know about all the chat's like having its own conversations right now, and I want to know about this Matt Gaetz thing. I used to work in the legislature, and him and his friends legitimately had a point system where they tried and one-up each other on who slept with enough interns. Oh my God. The chat just got so interesting. This is like the next Watergate in the chat right now. Another reason government officials are stupid. They can't even figure out how to make a private Venmo transfer. So this is like, this person you're talking about, Matt Gaetz, was like a government official. Where was he? I'm like very behind in everything. Square-headed motherfucker is disgusting. Can't wait to watch him crash and burn. Oh, he's a United States representative. Oh, and he was like dating underage girls. Where is he? Oh, Pensacola. He was born in Hollywood, Florida. Ugh. He used to be a state rep. Oh, and he was like dating underage girls. Of course he was. That checks out for Florida. Okay. So, As people read over these tapes, they were like, we hate him. Reading the transcripts is an emetic experience. One comes away as feeling unclean, blah, 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 blah. So just an FYI, like this is where we said right here, May 9th, House Judiciary Committee starts impeachment proceedings. I want to show you how impeachment works just to make sure that like we're all on the same page. So Congress opens an investigation and gathers information. The House votes on each article of impeachment to decide if they will impeach. So we're like right here at this point. And then the impeached official faces trial in the United States Senate, and then the Senate votes on each article to determine if the official will be removed or not. So this is how impeachment works. So they're starting the impeachment proceedings. So like if you remember Donald Trump's impeachment, he was like they voted to impeach him, but then he wasn't removed from office. Like, yeah. So that's how impeachment works. Right now we are here. Was he the one who had mail order bride from Russia? Wasn't Trump impeached twice? Yeah, I think Trump was impeached twice. So yeah, someone can be impeached and not removed from office, but it's pretty rare. So then, July 24th, 1974, the Supreme Court rules that Nixon must surrender dozens of original tape recordings to Jaworski. So this is the new special prosecutor, and the Supreme Court is saying, release that shit right now. They said, executive privilege who? That's not what that is. Release that shit right now. Madison Cawthorn had the mail order bride, and now he's divorced. So much is happening right now. Wasn't he the one that tweeted that millennial women who were protesting Roe v. Wade are overeducated? Oh my God. All those little Nazi white boys look the same to me. Oh my God. This chat right now. I need to look into all of these Republican lawmakers. Okay. He literally had bird shit for brains. Yeah, absolutely. So, the issue of access to the tapes went into the United States Supreme Court, and like we said, they ordered the president to release the tapes to the special prosecutor. And then July 27th to 30th, 3 articles of impeachment are debated and approved by the House Judiciary Committee: obstruction of justice, misuse of power, and contempt of Congress. The impeachment was sent to the House for a full vote, but the vote was not carried out. I don't really know why. I wanted to look into that, but I was already late to come hang out with you at this point. On July 30th, 1974, Nixon complied with the order and released the tapes to the public. And then a couple days later, on August 5th, a previously unknown tape recorded a few days after the break-in documented Nixon and Hadelman formulating a plan to block the investigation is released, and this recording later became known as the smoking gun, and these transcripts reveal Nixon's involvement in the cover-up. So yeah, basically everything that Nixon had said was a lie, because he was like, I was innocent, I didn't do anything, I didn't know. And then the smoking gun tape gets released, which is like not the vibes. So I'm gonna play. This is a long video and it's like super fucking boring, and I'm worried it's gonna ding me for copyright infringement, but I'm gonna play the beginning part of it because this is the part where they're like incriminating themselves.
The Democratic break, on the investigation, the Democratic break-in thing, we're back in the problem area because the FBI is not under control because Ray doesn't exactly know how to control it, and their investigation is now leading into some productive areas because they've been able to trace the money, not through the money itself, but through the bank.
So that money that they had given, like the money they were using to pay off the people, like I confused myself when I read too much about it because I don't understand how money laundering works, but basically those were like campaign donations that they like funneled through, and then like that's how they figured out the connection was through like the serial numbers and figuring out the bank accounts and shit like that of like the bank accounts that were used to funnel the money, and that's how they figured out the connection. The Democratic break-in thing, so casual. That's what gets me. He's like, the Democratic break-in thing, that's still a problem. Like, he's like, another fucking Tuesday.
The banker stuff, and it goes some directions we don't want it to go. Also, there have been some things like an informant came in off the street to the FBI in Miami with a photographer who has a friend who's a photographer who develops films for this guy Parker.
Okay, so like the rest of it's pretty boring, to be honest, but I just wanted you to see that like this is literally him on tape talking about how he knew this. Like him saying the Democratic break-in thing shows how casual it was. So then 3 days later, after that smoking gun tape got released, President Nixon resigned. In a nationally televised speech, he said, "I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed as abhorrent to every instinct as my body, but as president, I must put the interest of America first. Therefore, I shall resign my presidency effective at noon tomorrow." And then Nixon signs his letter of resignation, and Vice President Gerald Ford becomes president. I'm going to show you some memes first. Have you thought about teaching any college classes? Because these slides would be so funny for college classes. I want to teach community college, but I don't really feel like getting a master's degree. So, I don't know. Just resigned in disgrace, might be on IG Live later, hashtag bad bitches only, hashtag later losers. I told you it was meme heavy. And then this is me anytime something doesn't go my way or someone tries to hold me accountable for my actions. It's just like, I'm just gonna go. Like, I think I'm done, and I think this is not for me anymore, and I'm like not having a good time, and I'm just not into it. So I'm just gonna leave. Oh wait, I missed one. Ford becoming VP during the worst crisis possible and then becoming president less than a year later. I feel like the stress that that man must have been experiencing, like not a good day to be Gerald Ford. Since he wasn't Nixon's original VP, my history professor said Ford was the only president who wasn't elected to the White House. Yeah. What I wouldn't give to have a post-Nixon resignation do a IG Live, the comments would be. No, like, that would be like very much Gen Z energy if in like 50 years something like this happened again and then the president was like, I'm on Instagram Live, this is fucking bullshit, they should not have removed me. No, like I literally feel like that's exactly how it's gonna be. Oh my god, Manny Mart, welcome. You're late, but you still made it. Welcome, welcome. Okay, go back and finish this slide. Story time. It's like, hey, you guys, imagine the president is on Meet the Press and they're like, yeah, it was honestly just like really messy and I don't even want to get into it here, but I'm going to be doing a story time on my YouTube. It'll probably drop like today or tomorrow. Like, imagine the president being like that. Trump, if every social media platform wouldn't have banned him for life. That would be such a good assignment. Make a post of Nixon's resignation IG post. It's like, what's up? Just resigned. So then Vice President General Ford becomes the president. Nixon is pardoned by General Ford for any offenses he might have committed against the United States while president. Being pardoned is basically just like a big fat I forgive you from a government leader. So like a governor can pardon people and the president can pardon people. So like, let's say I go to prison and you guys are like, Miss Redacted's in prison, and then you somehow convince Ron DeSantis to pardon me. He could like get me out of prison, and then it's like not on my record shit because they were just like, we forgive you, like we love you and we forgive you. That's what a pardon is. So sometimes presidents will do that for a variety of reasons. So Nixon was never prosecuted for this. Someone said, Gab Page said, Nixon should have been prosecuted. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. Everyone hated Gerald Ford for this shit. People were not into the fact that Gerald Ford pardoned him. And then former Chief of Staff, HR, I keep burping. President can pardon federal crimes. Governor can only grant clemency for state crimes. I thought governors could pardon for state crimes. I'd rather die than accept a pardon from DeSantis. Bro, if I did something and y'all were trying to get DeSantis to pardon me, he would open my TikTok and be like, this is your girl? No, double her sentence. And so then 1975, Chief of Staff and former domestic policy advisors, blah, 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 are all tied and convicted of conspiracy charges arising from Watergate. And in total, 41 people received criminal convictions as related to the Watergate scandal. Nixon would have done so bad in prison. If DeSantis pardoned you, you better escape Florida, because why would he do that? No, if DeSantis pardoned me, it would be so he could shoot me when I walked out of the prison. Like, I would walk out and he would be there ready to kill me. Like, he would hunt me for sport, I think. And I'm not a fast runner at all. Like, he would be on a golf cart and hunting me for sport. Like, probably in the Everglades. Really? Okay, let me get through the memes that we already looked at. Nixon asking Ford for a pardon, probably. I don't know how that went down. Like, I don't know if he made him do that or if he just, like, did it out of his own accord. I don't know what the vibes were there. Americans to Ford after he pardoned Nixon. And none of us are legal experts at all, really. Also, this is, like, not really incriminating, but this is more of the tapes that got released, and this one is Nixon is drunk. So I wanted to include it just because I think it's kind of funny to hear him being wasted, but it's, like, not that, so we're not going to listen to the whole thing. Why isn't the sound working?
Hello.
Hi.
Hope I didn't let you down.
No, sir. You got your points over, and now you got to set right and move on. You're right where you ought to be.
Well, it's a tough thing, Bob, or you, or John, the rest, but goddamn it, I'm never going to discuss this son of a bitching Watergate thing again. Never, 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 never. But you agree?
Yes, sir. You've done it now, and you've laid out your position. You've laid out you've taken your steps. You've put the
The interesting thing, you know, we haven't heard of the only cabinet officer that is called, and this is 50 minutes after the thing is over, is Cap Weinberger, bless his soul. All the rest, you're not waiting to see what the polls show. Goddamn
Wait,
Sean
he gets
Cabinet,
drunker.
isn't it?
Oh, you better check and be sure, because they may, we've had a...
No. They know who to call, you know. They know they can get through. But in any event, I just want you to know that Cap called, and he was all the way.
Good.
But let me say, you're a strong man, God damn it, and I love you. And I...
So yeah, that's Nixon drunk talking to some guy. I don't really fucking know. But last but not least, this one went through kind of fast. This was a lot of slides, but we went through this a lot faster than normal. We're going to play a game. Always the game. So if you want to join, let me find like a good one for this. We'll do this. You're a strong man, but God damn it, I love you. No, literally, like him drunk is hilarious to me. So, we're going to play the game. If you want to join the game, I sent the Nearpod in the chat. It's 10 questions. He's like the opposite of a hype girl in the bar bathroom. Imagine you being drunk in the bathroom at a bar and Nixon is there and talking about Watergate. I would be like, what are you doing in my house? Literally, what are you doing in my house? But yeah, if you want to play the game, here's the Nearpod in the chat. I'll give people a couple minutes to join the game. It's 10 questions. I had to make this one like relatively easy, and I made it super quick, so sorry in advance if there's a mistake on anything. I noticed it was fast. My notes aren't pretty. I'm trying to fix it, though. You're really like star student slaying #1, for sure. Absolutely. Ah, look at your little people, or your little animals. Mina Nixon, do you need a hair tie? Me with Nixon in the bathroom. Are you good? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Imagine you're fixing your lip gloss and he's like, I'm never talking about Watergate again, but you're strong and I love you. President Nixon in the girls' bathroom. Would Nixon hold your hair while you puked in the toilet? Def not. No, this is what Nixon would do. If you were throwing up in the toilet, he would walk out of the bathroom and be like, oh my God, you guys, she is so drunk. She's like throwing up in the toilet. Nixon died on my aunt's birthday. Oh my God. It's short, but you told us there's still dates. Is there a date one? I can't remember. I'm going to go ahead and start it. There's 15 people. I haven't seen someone join in a second. Let me send the link one more time in case anyone wants to join the game. And then I'll go ahead and start this bitch. Okay, I think that's everybody. The Rachel Turtle girlies. Nixon would encourage you to text your ex. Nixon would encourage me to text my abusive ex. He'd be like, you should call him. You should call him right up. I'm gonna another 17 people in the game. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit start if you're not in. Sorry. Give him a second chance. He didn't mean it. What did we learn about today? Nixon would try and recruit me into his MLM. Nixon, at the end of the day, is an MLM girly. He's an MLM girly before anything else. Reagan Gate. It's hard to come up with fake ones, you guys. The answer is B, Watergate. I hope you got it right. The Attorney General said wiretapping was a bad idea. Nearpod crashed. Damn, that sucks. My kids used to get so mad when their Nearpod would crash during Time to Climb. I would feel so bad because they would be like crying, and they'd be like, "Can you not cry?" But they'd be upset, and they'd be like, "Can you start it over for everybody so I can join?" And I was like, "Nah, dude. Like, I love you, but not that much." Nixon was raised a Quaker, and everything he did was not Quaker-like. What was the name of the operation to break into the Watergate? What was the name where they had the 2 meetings? And the first one, he was like, what if we kidnapped everyone? And then he was like, actually, maybe if we don't do that. OMG, this was Nixon's Rumspringa. When you're trying to decide if you want to be Quaker and you accidentally create the massive scandal of the U.S. government. I zoned out for that part because I was eating tacos. Valid. Why did they break into the Watergate? For vibes. Just for the vibes. Did it for the vibes. What was that TikTok audio? Caught a vibe. Really, are you coming for a ride? Ah. Bestie vibes only, bestie vibes only. Don't forget, we need to take our class picture. All I knew about Watergate was when Forrest Gump stayed at the Watergate Hotel. Oh my god, we're already half done. What movie was he watching? Everyone better get this right because we joked about it for so long. And for anyone that's not playing the game and is just here hanging out, what do you guys want to talk about next week? What history thing do you want to learn about? So on Monday, we're going to do education horror stories, and then I have like compiled a bunch of god-awful teacher appreciation gifts that we're going to look at and like discuss and dissect and whatever. So, what history thing do you want to do on Wednesday? I don't really have an idea. I don't really know what I want. I was thinking about doing, because I kind of want to learn more about it. Actually, no, that's boring. I don't want to do that. I'm not even going to bring it up. Shoot. Zip it. It's gone. Puppet People on Ice makes me think of Ice Planet Barbarians. The anti-yesification of U.S. cities, how highway systems affected urban life. Ooh, I could do like redlining and like urban and like the rise of the suburbs. Are we into that? Like redlining and the rise of the suburbs? Bay of Pigs, the 1994 Olympic bombings. I don't even know about that. The anti-yesification of U.S. cities. So far, that's my favorite one. Thank you, This Army. That's my favorite option so far. How long did it take Nixon? Oh my god, you guys are so fast. You guys are not fucking around, like for reals. Why am I so itchy? My hands and my shoulders. Actually, it's because I've got sunburned and now I'm peeling. Who made Nixon release the tapes? Thanks, my money don't jiggle, for the follow. Appreciate. Ooh, a lot of y'all got that wrong. It was not the Supreme Court, it was Congress. Or it was not Congress, it was the Supreme Court. Congress asked, and he was like, no, and then the Supreme Court was like, yeah, you're actually going to release it. The way GM brought the streetcar so people bought out the U.S. streetcar so people get cars, yeah, that shit is crazy. Satanic panics of the 1980s and 90s. Ooh, what about the Red Scare? That's a good one, too. The plot of Cars 1. We're almost done. Red Scare. McCarthyism? Okay, that seems like the top choice right now. McCarthyism. Who became president when Nixon resigned? Oh my God, you guys are so fast. Jesus. Let's see. Apples in number 1, Lena in 2, Catherine in 3, Rachel is 4, Jessica is 5. Then we have Riley, Bagel, Sydney, Harold, Cheyenne, Quarter Life Crisis, Max, Dusty Croissant. This is my favorite name. Anne, Abby, Nika, A, Mur, Rachel, and Monica. All right, nice job to my winners. We need to take our class picture. Meme do we want to use for the class picture? I think we should use this meme for the class picture, and for the thumbnail, this is the meme that I think is the best vibe currently. Lemur Panda, you're Dusty Croissant. I love that username. That's like icon shit. Okay, everyone smile for our class picture. I think this is the best meme. I think it's best for the thumbnail. You know what I mean? Because it's like icon. I'm mad that my thumbs down emote isn't, here yet. Groben123, first time chat. Sup? What's that, dude? What's that, dude? Just rolled one. Good for you, man. You should do a peace sign too. Oh my God, I will. Okay, everyone smile. Whether you Lemur said it at the same time that I did. Okay, I did it. They're sending the emote to the feds because you're on a list. My sister thinks I'm going to list. That was big sister aggressive. I'm going to do another one. Everyone smile. Thanks. Peace signs and smiles in the chat. God, me and my 2 brain cells are fighting for my life. Okay. Perfect. We're living, we're laughing, we're loving. I'll hang out for a couple minutes, but this was good. Grobend, I'm so happy for you. You blinked. God damn it. God damn it. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. We can Photoshop it out later. I'm going to finish my drink, and I'm going to hang out here while I finish my drink. Thank you all for coming. Sorry that I was so late today. That's really not the vibes. I think next class we're going to do McCarthyism. That's what I'm thinking, But I need some more, gossipy stories. Ooh, I have another good one. What trial was this? We could do the Snopes trial. Have you guys heard of that? Oh, you have to post the notes. Oh my God, yeah, sorry. Give me a minute to get the screenshots, though. Lena, let me know if you need me to move back to Collaborate board so you can post it. Ooh, Snowden. That's a good one. Let me write these down. Because all the time, I'm going to make it a note in my phone. Because all the time, I can't think of something, and every time I'm on here, we think of so many good ones, and then I just forget them, and it's really tragic. And there's random work shit. For real, the Dust Bowl, though. I don't know. Maybe I'll do Dust Bowl and depression. That's my favorite topic. Dust Bowl and depression. Ted Kennedy. What? It would be great if I could have a board. Yeah, of course. Let me put it back to the beginning. I had a board at the beginning, and I'll leave the board up because if anyone else wants to post stuff while I finish the strength that I've been nursing for 2 hours. Can we do international subjects as well? Depending on what it is, I'm open to it, but I am just really passionate about U.S. history, and I don't know as much international history, so depending on what it is, I would do it, but I probably have less of a likelihood. I had A-Push last year, and it was all online. I'm glad you're enjoying this. This is online. Oh, chat froze. Yeah, I'm going to be here a couple more minutes, so let me fix that. Let me fix that shit right fucking now. Thank you to everyone who always notifies me. Such a good little class. Love us. Okay, there we go. Tiananmen Square. Okay, let me write these down. So we had the Dust Bowl was one. Scopes trial was a good one. We have Snowden, which I want to know more about. McCarthyism. It's another one. War on drugs is one we still need to do. I didn't want to do that one today because I don't know why. Other ideas. Tiananmen Square is a good one. Oh my God, O.J. Simpson, Rise of the Suburbs and Redlining. The suburbs and cars and redlining. I also want to do, apologies for the wonky lines, my computer hates me, it's okay. I also want to do like the history of birth control and of like pregnancy prevention. Could be a good one. Uranium girls, no, I haven't really talked about that. The Bay of Pigs, I'm not a super military history galley, but I'll think about it. I am into the Bay of Pigs. Oh my God, Y2K, that is a good one, and I want to know more about that. Okay, you guys are amazing. This is really productive. I'm glad we're doing this. Look, I'm writing them all down. Writing them all down. Writing them all down. History of Dollywood. Ooh, I love Dolly Parton. I think like post World War II, rise of suburbs, redlining, boomer vibes is a good one. I have that one written down. Oh my God, I'm loving this chat right now. Let me show you all Lena's notes. Open image in a new tab. Ted Kennedy and the Chappaquiddick incident. What is that? Like, I'm open to it, but I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. The suburbs and the nuclear family. Yeah, loving that one. Let me show you all Lena's notes. What an icon. Look at this. Look at this. Iconic. Incredible. We stand. We love. Of course. All right. Let me finish this. What other ideas do we have? How the jungle affected meat plant regulations, like a muckrakers one. We love that. Love a muckrakers moment. The Kennedy fam. Yeah, my mom actually modeled her parenting after them, which is like really concerning. I think that explains a lot about me and why I am the way that I am. How Laura Bush killed a man. I'm sorry, what? It was one where Ted Kennedy killed a girl and was like, oops, I didn't do that. Why has everyone killed so many people? Why have all these government people killed people? What? The way I'm putting more effort into these notes than my schoolwork. As you should. As you should. But plot twist, turns out it was his mistress. Bruh. History of alternative energy. At one point we were 35% hydropower and coal companies were like, nope. The San Francisco earthquake, oh my God, I love the San Francisco earthquake. I don't love the San Francisco earthquake, but I think it's an interesting topic. Laura Bush accidentally hit someone with her car in her teens. Oh, I think I did know that actually. Ugh. 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 Ooh, Asian immigration and contributions to early U.S. history. That's a good one. Oh my God, and this is Ann27. You're a founding 2-month subscriber. Thank you. New Madrid earthquake. I just found out via Brittany Broski and Sarah Showers' podcast that Marvin Gaye killed like 15 prostitutes. What? I love their podcast, though. Stonewall riots for Pride. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, this is what I'm thinking is like my priority right now. Stonewall riots for Pride, definitely sometime in the month of June. Definitely want to do McCarthyism. Definitely want to do Rise of the Suburbs, redlining, and all of that. And I'm definitely wanting to do the war on drugs and like the crack epidemic. Those are like top of my list right now. But my drink is done. I am tired. This was great. Thank you for coming. Love you so much, but have a lovely night. I hope this was informative and that you learned a thing or two about the disgustingness that is Nixon. Oh my God. Love the articles people share us. We love this community. Okay, let me focus. Okay, love you so much. Bye.